After new document is revealed, Warren struggles with questions of identity. The Washington Post. Elizabeth Warren was a law professor at the University of Texas when she filled out a form from the state bar that asked her to list her race. Her answer: 33 years later and days before the official launch of her presidential run. That newly disclosed document has emerged as a political flashpoint, forcing Warren to reckon with a question that has been dogging her for years and that she has never put to rest: why, through much of her life and legal career, she claimed to be Native American despite being white. By Wednesday, after the bar registration card was published by the Washington Post, Warren faced new doubts about her viability in the presidential race as activists and strategists evaluated how much damage the issue might do, especially given Democrats' focus on finding a candidate who can defeat President Trump, and what she might do to move past it. Liberal activists have long described cultural appropriation as hurtful, since someone is assuming the identity of a group without having faced the suffering or discrimination that group endured. The question is what. This was about 30 years ago, said Warren, when asked Wednesday why she filled out the bar form. She explained that, for Democrats, the issue was long eclipsed by anger at Trump's ridicule of Warren, especially his use of the nickname Pocahontas. But Warren's the matter now threatens to overshadow the image Warren has sought to foster of a truth-telling consumer advocate who would campaign for the White House as a champion for the working class. Instead, adding to Warren's troubles are her fumbling efforts in recent months to get ahead of the issue. Many activists: "I am not a member of a tribe," she told reporters Wednesday. "I have apologized." Republicans have sought to take advantage. Trump last week, the Republican National Committee on Wednesday filed a grievance with the State Bar of Texas asking for disciplinary action against Warren for lying and failing to correct a misrepresentation. The more immediate problem Warren faces is within her own party. To claim Native identity, clearly it wasn't the appropriate thing to do, said Amy Allison, founder of She the People, a group focused on electing women of color. Was she trying to? There's a long history in America of people making unsubstantiated claims to Native American heritage, a practice objected to strongly by tribal members as diluting their culture and shared experience. Everyone who cares about us as natives are welcome, but at critical moments those who have legal and cultural standing have a unique place with specific rights and responsibilities, Chuck Hoskin Jr., Secretary of State for the Cherokee Nation. That is why it offends. The first known instance of Warren being identified as having Native American ancestry was in 1984, when her name appeared in a cookbook called Pow Wow Chow, compiled by a cousin to be sold at a fundraiser. Warren listed herself as a minority in the Association of American Law Schools directory starting in 1986, and presented herself that way in the directory for 9 years. That same year, there's no indication that Warren gained professionally by reporting herself as Native American on the card. Above the lines for the AALS directories were used by law schools when searching for new professors, prompting some Republicans to charge that she was claiming Native identity to get ahead. Warren moved from the University of Texas to the University of Pennsylvania in 1987. After she worked several months after Warren started working at Harvard Law School in late 1995, Harvard recorded her ethnicity as Native American, according to university records reported by The Globe. The records include: Harvard continued reporting Warren as a Native American until 2004, the records show. Warren declined to say Wednesday whether there might be other documents that could surface in which she identified herself as Native American. "All I know is during this time period, this is consistent with what I did because it was based on my understanding from my family stories," Warren said. But family story. Warren has previously acknowledged that she claimed Cherokee and Delaware heritage despite having only a distant ancestor who was Native American. But the Texas Bar, as she prepared for a 7-state presidential announcement blitz, it was not clear that Warren had a significant plan to confront the issue beyond continuing to apologize. "There is no visible strategy for this," said Joel Benenson, a leading Democratic pollster who advised the presidential campaigns of Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. When you're in the eye, he added, there is probably time for them to develop a better, more coherent and powerful story to deal with this. But they have to do it. Warren, referring to her recent apology to the Cherokee chief, said it was deeply felt. This is from the heart, she said. This is about my Warren's apology has been met with mixed reactions. This closes the matter, but not all were pleased. I want to see it in writing, said David Cornzell, a historian and genealogist who is also a citizen of the Cherokee Nation. I want her to go on. Republic. Deb Holland DN. I've lived my whole life with people self-identifying as Native American. I never questioned. For Warren, putting this chapter behind her is key to calming the nerves of Democrats who want a nominee who can present a strong challenge to Trump. I think she's going to continue to be asked questions about that, said Senior. Mazie Hirono. Sean Sullivan contributed to this report.
Raindrop, drip, drop top, top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. I get fucking on your bitch, yeah, that.